Hello, shrimps. Do you remember which story we were reading yesterday? Remember, it was Harry and the Snow King. We're going to read it again today. I'm going to ask you some questions today as we read. So can you turn those ears on? Make sure your eyes are looking and listening. And then I will ask you some questions. I got a little friend today. He's come to see. Looks a bit like a snow person. I wonder if it's a snow king. He's come to listen to the story as well. Let's see. Let's find the title. Can you help me read the title of the story? Harry and the Snow King. There's Harry. And look at all these here. There's some snow people, and right in the middle, can you see the Snow King? How do we know he's a king? What's he got on his head? What is that? That's right, it's a crown. And we know that kings and queens and princesses and princes wear crowns on their head. That's why it's a Snow King. Let's open up the book. There's the Snow King again. I'll just turn it that way a little bit. And it says again, Harry and the Snow King. Well done if you help me read that then. When the snow came, you had to look for it, but Harry had waited long enough. He went out with his spoon and plate. Children, can you remember? Think back. Why did Harry go outside with his spoon and plate? What did he want to collect? That's right, he wanted to collect the snow. He put out his tongue. What was he trying to catch? Can you remember? There's a clue with the picture. He wanted to catch a snowflake. He did catch a snowflake on his tongue. It was just right. There was some in the corner by the woodpile. There was some snow, a good bit by the hen house. And if you were very careful, you could scoop it off the leaves as well. So he used his spoon to scrape it off the leaves onto his plate. It took all morning to find enough snow to make the Snow King. Wow, look at that. Nan called, "What are you doing out there?" "Nothing," he said, but he was looking on the holly bush for some red buttons, which would be the berries. Remember what I said yesterday, though? Remember, you ask your grown-ups before you touch any berries, because some make our tummies poorly. Mum called, "Are you hungry?" "No, not yet," he said. He was hungry, but he was making a crown, and he wanted to get it finished. Children, what do you think he was using to make a crown for his Snow King? That's right. Leaves, little tiny leaves. What a good idea. Sam said, "Your soup is cold." "Coming," he said, and he brought the Snow King to show them all. Where is the Snow King in that picture? That's right, he's behind Harry's back. They all bowed down to look. Sam said it not to bring him in. It was too warm inside. Children, what do we know about snow? We know it's very cold. It's it's stuck together because it's frozen. But what do we know about if it goes inside? How does it feel when you go inside? Usually warm. And if you take a snowman inside your house, the heat from your house would make it too hot and melt the snowman away. So that's why Sam said not to bring it in. She's quite right. That was why Harry left the Snow King on the wall. So he left it there while he went for his soup. He ate his soup and told them all about the Snow King. Sam said big snowmen were better And he was stupid not to have waited. Fancy calling your brother stupid. That's not very kind, is it? That was why Harry threw his bread at Sam. Oh no. Nan took him to his room to settle him down, because we don't throw bread about, do we? We eat it. Later on, the Snow King was not on the wall. Can you remember what happened to the Snow King? Think back to yesterday. Yes, the Snow King, we think, melted. Why? How did we think that he'd melted? Look at the picture. What can you see on that plate? Oh, just a puddle. A little puddle of water, which meant that might have been the remains of the Snow King, because he melted into a puddle. You just give him back, Harry said, but Sam had been watching TV all the time, so she hadn't taken him. The Snow King was nowhere in the yard either. He was not in the refrigerator, keeping cold. Somebody's kidnapped him, said Harry. He wanted to call the police, but Mum said, you better not bother them. 4 o'clock, Mr. Oakley, the farmer, passed on his tractor. Harry told Mr. Oakley all about the Snow King and how he'd been kidnapped. Mr. Oakley looked up at the sky. He said not to give up hope. He said maybe the Snow King went to order some more snow. He's very kind, Mr. Oakley. The next morning, when Harry woke up, what did he see? Can you remember? I think you just spotted it in the picture. That's right. Look at the picture there. That's what he saw in the morning. Next morning, there were snow people all over the yard. 10 at least. Wonderful. And white everywhere you looked. Look at the sizes of them. Some are big and some are small. That's a small one, and that's even tinier. Tiny one, small one, even bigger. They're all bigger then, aren't they? Mr. Oakley drove by on his way back from milking. I found these earlier, he said. He opened his hand to show the red buttons and the crown. Children, where did they come from? Who had those before? That's right, the Snow King did, for his crown and his buttons. I hoped all night, said Harry. I never gave up hope. It was just like you said. The Snow King went to order some more snow, but he left me these snow people instead. Oh, he's very excited, isn't he? Hitch up your sledge, said Mr. Oakley. This looks like good snow for getting towed by a tractor. Shall we go now, or wait for Sam? No, Sam's watching the telly. He wants to go sledging with Mr. Oakley. We'll come back for her later on then, said Mr. Oakley. You get the first go then. Harry and Sam had a lot of fun that day, but that first go was just the best. He loved sledging. All the magic of winter. In the winter, we see some snow sometimes, and those are the kind of activities you can do in snow. Sledging and building snow people. Snowmen and snow ladies and snow kings. It's amazing. Now, I want you to just think back to that story. Have a little think about feelings. Have a little think back to how Harry felt when he felt the snowflake on his tongue. It's not something you do every day. So do you think he would have felt happy? Would he have felt sad? Would he have felt worried about snowflake on his tongue? Would he have felt excited? I can feel a snowflake on my tongue. That means it's snowing. He might have felt excited. I think so too. Let's have a little think back as well. How do you think he was feeling when he had made his Snow King? and it was all finished, how do you think he was feeling? Do you think he was feeling sad? No. Do you think he was feeling happy because he'd finished it? Do you think he was feeling excited because he wanted to show his family what he'd made? I've made a snowman, a snow king. Do you think he felt worried? No. I think he'd have felt proud. He'd made something and it looked just how he wanted it to. There it is. Let's think back to here now. So there's his lovely Snow King. When he went inside and left it on its own, how do you think he'd be feeling? Do you think he'd feel happy to leave it on its own? Do you think he'd feel a bit sad? I don't want to leave it on its own. I felt a bit sad inside. I want to be with it. You might have thought, what about, would he feel excited that it's on its own outside? No. Would he have felt a bit worried? I hope he's still there when I come back. What happens if he's not? What happens if he's a bit sad that I'm not here? He might think things like that, so he might be a bit worried. So when he had finished his lunch and he went outside and he found that the Snow King wasn't there. How do you think he would be feeling then? Sad. And do you think he'd feel at all happy that he wasn't there? No, he'd feel sad. He's lost his Snow King. That was precious to him. That's why he felt sad. Do you think he'd feel excited? No, he's got nothing to be excited about. The Snow King's not there. Do you think he'd feel worried? A bit scared. Where's he gone? A bit worried. Oh no. What happens if I never see him again? He might feel worried like that. And then at the end of the story, when Mr. Oakley came along and he found lots of snow people, how do you think he felt then? Happy? Definitely felt happy then. And excited because there was more and more snow. And when you see more and more snow, you know you can play in that snow and it's exciting. Do you think he felt sad to see the snow? Do you think he felt worried? No, because he wants to have fun in the snow. So it's all exciting. And even more happy when Mr. Oakley found all these bits to make his Snow King again. So he felt even more happy. I want you to go off to your grown-ups now. Have a little talk with them about what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel sad, what makes you feel excited. I can't wait. What makes you feel a bit worried? Have a little think. Talk with your grown-ups about your feelings.